हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू हैंड्स ऑन डेव। आज की वीडियो में हम बनाने वाले हैं एक एंग्री डॉगी। ये वाला नहीं, ये तो आपका कुत्ता है। हम बनाने वाले हैं वो मीम वाला डॉगी जिसको आपने बहुत बार एलन मस्क के द्वारा ट्वीट करते देखा है, या वैलेंटाइंस डे पर लोगों के द्वारा मीम में यूज होते हुए देखा है, या मैनी मोर अदर प्लेसेस। इससे पहले कि हम वीडियो को स्टार्ट करें कि इस कुत्ते को कैसे बनाना है, अगर आपने मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है अभी तक तो प्लीज hit that red subscribe button and press the bell icon to never miss a video. Let's start how to make a angry doggy. तो बेसिक HTML और CSS हमने लिख दिया है यहाँ पर, और अभी हमारा पेज कुछ ऐसा दिख रहा है। तो डॉग बनाने के लिए ना सबसे पहले हम क्या करेंगे कि मैं एक क्लास बना दी यहाँ पे डॉग डॉग की, और ना हम अपने डॉग को दो पार्ट में डिवाइड करेंगे। तो आई विल से कि डॉग का एक पार्ट जो होगा जिसमें कि होगी डॉग बॉडी, जिसमें हम अपना टेल और लेग्स को लगाएंगे, और डॉग का जो स्पॉट आता है वो लगाएंगे। दूसरा क्लास में बनाऊंगा डॉग हेड का, जिसमें बेसिकली मैं सारी की सारी आईज, ईयर्स और टंग, जब वो एंग्री होता है तो टीथ कैसे दिखेंगे वो डालूंगा। तो अभी जाता हूँ स्टाइल्स पे। तो सबसे पहले डॉग की कुछ प्रॉपर्टीज डिफाइन कर देते हैं। तो जो इसकी विड्थ है वो ऑटो रहेगी, हाइट विल ऑल्सो बी ऑटो। अब डॉग हेड डिफाइन कर देते हैं कि डॉग हेड कैसा दिखेगा। तो ऐसे कि बैकग्राउंड कलर विल बी F8 DC93। जैसे कि पोजीशन इसकी रिलेटिव रहेगी। विड्थ विल बी 20 वीमेन, और हाइट एल से कि 40 वीमेन। ओके, तो अभी मैं अपना हेड हमारा कुछ ऐसा दिख रहा है। तो लेट्स गिव ए बॉर्डर रेडियस जिससे कि थोड़ा सर्कुलर सा हेड दिखे। तो एल से कि 2 वीमेन 00 16 वीमेन। तो हेड कुछ अब ऐसा दिखेगा। लेट्स डिफाइन डॉग की बॉडी की प्रॉपर्टीज कुछ। सो ये सारी प्रॉपर्टीज ऑलमोस्ट सेम रहेंगी। विल इंक्रीज द विड्थ ऑफ द बॉडी क्योंकि हेड से बड़ी होनी चाहिए। सो विल से दिस टू बी एज 26 फीमेल। ओके, एंड विल से दिस पोजीशन शुड बी एब्सोल्यूट। तो अभी दोनों बराबर से दिख रहे हैं। तो हम लोग यहाँ पे क्या करेंगे ना कि विल से कि इट शुड बी शिफ्टेड -16 वीमेन, और जो इसका टॉप है इट शुड बी शिफ्टेड -10 वीमेन। ठीक है, अब ये डॉग का हेड हो जाएगा, ये डॉग की बॉडी हो जाएगी। नाउ लेट्स गो फॉरवर्ड। व्हाट विल डू इज विल डिफाइन अ नोज फॉर दिस डॉग। तो डॉग के हेड में मैं जाऊंगा एंड आई विल क्रिएट वन मोर div and we'll say class of dog nose and we'll close it. अब डॉग की नोज की कुछ प्रॉपर्टीज डिफाइन कर देते हैं। तो बैकग्राउंड कलर आई वांट कि ये ब्लैक हो जाए। पोजीशन रिलेटिव, लेट्स गिव a height and width of 3 women। ओके, तो ये मेरी नोज बन रही है। अभी नोज एकदम उसके प्रॉपरली स्टक है हेड के, तो आई वांट कि हल्की सी बाहर की तरफ निकले। तो व्हाट आई विल डू इज आई विल से left of -1 women and top of -1 women। ओके, और एक और चीज़ करते हैं कि इसकी नोज अभी भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा स्क्वायर लग रही है। तो व्हाट विल डू इज विल डिफाइन है, विल गिव अ बॉर्डर रेडियस 2 women 1 women। ओके, अब ये सही दिख रहा है। अभी इसके बाद ना इसके ईयर्स लगाते हैं यहाँ पे. So we'll go back to our index.html, and inside our body dog head, what we'll say is we'll have a class which will basically our dog ear, and we'll go back to our styles and we'll define some properties for the ear. So let's give the background color same as what we have given here, and we'll say position for this one should be relative. और जो डॉग के ईयर्स है ना वो रेक्टेंगुलर होंगे, तो we'll give it as height will be bigger and width will be smaller. So we'll say thus height 4 vmin and width as 3 vmin. Okay, let's see. ये ईयर यहाँ पे कुछ आ रहा है अभी. So what we'll do is we'll say that from the top it should go 3.9, or let's say 4 vmin. तो अभी हमारा यहाँ पे आ गया ये, and we'll say it should come on the right 0, and we'll change the position to absolute क्योंकि अभी relative के अभी यहाँ पे डॉग का ईयर से आ रहा है. अभी क्या करेंगे ना, यहाँ पे फिर से ये स्क्वायर दिख रहा है तो we'll just give a border radius and it should be 16 women, 4 women, 0 0. तो अभी ये डॉग का एक ईयर आया. अब दूसरा ईयर बनाने के लिए ना हम यहाँ पे क्या करेंगे, बॉक्स शैडो डालेंगे. We want it shifted to the other side, so 4 women, और we'll say color क्योंकि वो पीछे का कान है तो it should be a little less from our skin color, तो we'll give something like this. तो अभी डॉग के ears भी हो गए हैं. We'll go forward and create the eyes. Create one more class division here and say dog eyes. इसके अंदर ना हम लोग क्या करेंगे कि we'll say division of class dog eyes black, और ब्लैक के अंदर वाइट पीपल होगा तो we'll put it as division class white. ठीक है, let's go and define some properties for dog eyes. We'll say dog eyes. Let's put a background color. Let's put a more different color than our skin color, so we'll say 2D T2 AF5E. Let's give a height to this 7 women with 7 women. अभी क्या है कि ये स्क्वायर बना होगा. What we'll do is we'll put a border radius of 50%, which will basically make it as circle, and we'll say that top say -1 vmin, and it should shift to left some 10 vmin. And we have not defined our position here, so we'll say position is relative. तो भी ये आँख से ही आ गई. अब हम इसके अंदर का वो ब्लैक वाला पार्ट डिफाइन करते हैं. डॉग लेट्स सी यहाँ पे क्या लिखा था, dog eyes black, तो dog eyes black, background color will be hashtag 000, position will be relative, and I want a height which is less than 3 min. Width also will give us 3 min. We'll give border radius of 50%, and let's see where our eye is going now, and we'll say that you will be somewhere around top से 1 min and left से 2 min. Okay, now this looks good. अब हम जल्दी से ना डॉग आईज इसके अंदर की प्यूपिल बना देते हैं. So we'll say dog eyes white, and almost properties same ही होंगी, so I'll just copy this and change this color to FFF. And I don't want to be this to be very big, so I want it as 1 min. And instead of going shifting this too much, I'll say that okay. So now this looks good. If you haven't seen my previous video on the creepy monk, what we did was, on the move of the cursor, right, we wanted to move the eyes based on the where the cursor is moving. तो अगर आपने वो वीडियो नहीं देखी है तो आपको यहाँ पे राइट साइड में वीडियो का थंबनेल दिख रहा होगा, आप क्लिक करके उसको देख सकते हो. हमने सेम टू सेम कोड यहाँ पे कॉपी कर दिया है आई बॉल को मूव करने के लिए. सो बेसिकली वी हैव डिफाइंड द सिलेक्टर हियर टू मीन्स डॉग इज ब्लैक, और जब भी हम यहाँ पे इसको कर्सर को मूव करते हैं तो इट विल मूव अराउंड. Let's move on to the next thing. What we want to do is we want to give a smile to this dog, and we'll create a tongue, and we'll create two fangs also, in means when he is getting angry, so we want to show that fangs. So we'll go back to our index.html, and outside of the our eyes, inside our dog head, what we'll say is we'll create one more div saying class of dog smile. We'll define some properties for the dog smile. So we'll say its height should be some 3 min and width 4 min. Let's give this a border radius of 3 min 000. Let's give the position for this as absolute. We haven't defined a background color for this. Let's give a background color too. Should be same as what we were using for. So it looks like this. अभी ना इसको ट्रांसफॉर्म करते हैं थोड़ा सा. अभी ये उल्टा आ रहा है. We'll transform it to 180 degree. So we'll say transform, rotate, and you give how many degrees you want to rotate it. So now it looks good. अभी हमको चाहता है, we want कि इसका origin भी थोड़ा सा shift हो. So we'll say transform origin 100% comma 0. So now it is somewhere here. What we'll do is इसको outline देते हैं with a different color. और ना इसका border डालते हैं कुछ top पे. So we'll say 3 pixels solid and the color which we have used I think previously, ये वाला, तो थोड़ा सा different आएगा ये. We'll say we'll give some border left too. तो अभी आप देख रहे हो ये थोड़ा सा shifted आ रहा है, हल्का सा यहाँ पे चिपका होना चाहिए. So what we'll do is we'll say left minus zero point 0.8 vmin. So this will keep it as stuck here. Going forward on the next thing, what we want is we want when it is smiling, we want a tongue. So we'll go inside this and we'll say create one more division saying class is equal to tongue, and we'll go forward and define some properties for tongue. So we'll say to have a height, so it will be a rectangular thing, right? So my height will be bigger, and I'll say width to be 2.5 vmin, and I want a background color of something orangish. So I'll say F5901E. Okay, and let's give, अभी ये rectangular है तो let's make it a bit circular. So I'll give a border radius of 1 vmin. So हमने नीचे साइड से बस उसको गोल करना है, ऊपर से स्क्वायर ही रहेगा. So we'll say 1 vmin, 1 vmin, and 0 and 0. You see अभी टंग कुछ ऐसा दिख रहा है. Let's shift it so that it looks proper below our mouth. So we'll say position absolute, and we'll say from left it should be 1.3 vmin. It looks like this now. What we'll do is we'll give some animation to this tongue now. So basically we'll use the animation command, animation property here. So animation, we'll say jeeb lup lup. We want it to 1.3 seconds and infinite, and we'll define this animation like this from the keyframes. So when 0%, the height will be 3 vmin and 3.2 vmin top. Similarly for the 50% and the 100%. So what will happen now is it will keep on moving like this. Next thing what we have to make here is we want, when the dog is angry, we want to show some fang. So what we'll do here is we'll go back to our index.html. So either the dog is smiling or either the dog will be angry. So what we'll do is we'll create one more class saying dog angry. Inside this we'll have two teeth. Okay, so we'll say teeth, we'll say it as teeth and we'll say fang. Okay, so let's create one more div saying class teeth, and we'll have two fangs inside it. So we'll say fang and one more fang will create. Let's define some properties for this. We'll go ahead over in CSS and we'll say dog angry, So we'll say the background color will be 000. We want this black color to be always visible, so we'll say z index as 1. Should be from from bottom, it should be 4 v min, and from the left also we'll say to be coming as 4 v min. We want the position to be absolute, and whatever content which comes inside it, right, we want it to be centered. We haven't defined any height or width to this. We'll say height 2.7 women, and we'll say width to be 4 women. So currently our teeth, when the dogs get angry, it will come here. Let's define some fang. Let's say teeth. So position will be absolute, and I want the two teeth to be visible one after the other. So I'll say this is a display of flex direction. I want it to be row. So one teeth will come here and one teeth will come after that. So I'll create my fangs over here. I'll say fang. What I want is I want a border of 0.9 v min, transparent, solid. I want a border bottom of 2 v min, transparent, solid. I want my border color to be transparent, white, and transparent. I want my border style to be solid, width 0, height 0. So if you see my fang is inverted, I just want to transform it to 180 degrees. So what I'll do is I'll transform, rotate 180 degree. Now my fang looks good. What we'll do is we'll add an animation to these fangs. So we'll say animation. I'll call it as run. I'll say run for 1.1 second and ease in, ease out to infinite. And let's define our keyframes for run. So we'll have something for 0%, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. So we'll basically be increasing the width of the bottom. It's 2.2 v min. When it is 0%, then 2.1 when it is 25. So this will give the movement to our teeth. So now if you see, it keeps moving like this. Next thing what we want to do is we want to let's since we are already writing animations, so let's just write an animation for this lungs so that this also keeps on moving. So inside our body, one more property will add, animation. We'll call it as lungs. Give it zero point 0.4 seconds. Ease in out and infinite. Let's define keyframes for lungs. Put it as 0%. So we just want to increase the radius. So what we'll do is border bottom, left radius to be 22 vmin. Currently it is 16. We'll be changing it to 22 vmin. Similarly, we will have properties for 25%, 50%, 75%. So on 25, I'll reduce it by 2. 50, I want it back to be at 16. Then again going back to 20, at 75, and at 100 I want it back to be at 22. So now if you see, it is moving up and down. So let's add a tail. Go back to the index, and inside our body, what we'll say, division class is equal to dog tail. Save it. We'll add some properties to the tail and how it wants to look. We'll say width as 0, height as 0, border style to be solid, and I want a border width, so 5 women and 3 women. We'll just say border color, transparent, transparent, and our color for the dog and transparent. We want the position to be absolute. Let's see how this, the tail is coming over here. We want to move it to come this side. So we will say to right of 0. So it is somewhere there. Let's see. We'll give as top as -4 vmin. Okay, now our tail is present. We'll say this to be 1 pixel, let's say. Okay, it's better to put it as 0 itself because it is shifting it 1 pixel. Now what we want to do is we want to move our tail, and also it is a bit straight. We want to put it as a little bit tilted. So what we'll do is we'll transform this to 15 degree. So when we transformed it, it is a bit shifted over there. So we'll change it to 1 pixel here. Let's add some animation to this. So we'll say animation wag -0.4 seconds, ease in, ease out, and we'll say infinite. We'll say keyframes wag. Now what we want to do is we want to transform the angles now. So For 0 degree, I want to transform and rotate it to 15 degree. So this will be 25, 50, 75 and 100. So on 25, I wanted to move it to 20 degrees. On 50, to move it to 10 degrees. On 75, I wanted back to go to 20 degrees, and on 100, back on 15 degree. So now you see your tail is moving. What I'll do here is I'll just transform the origin a bit to 100%, 100% here so that it looks good now. Let's add a dog spot in between. So we'll go back to our index.html and we'll say div class dog spot. Say background color, say height to be something 12 vmin, width 5 vmin. Let's add a border radius to this. So this is coming as tilted. What we'll have to do is we'll have to transform it. So transform, we want to rotate it to 270 degree. Okay, what should be the position for this? We'll put it as absolute. We want it shifted from left to 4 vmin, and from top it should be 0. So we can transform the origin for this 0%. Okay, so this looks good. Let's add the legs. Go back to the index.html and start adding some legs over here. We'll say div class dog leg 1, and inside we can say div class foot 1. Let's copy this and we can use it for other legs too. Let's say dog leg 2, and we'll add foot 1 inside it. We'll say dog leg 3, we'll add same foot, and we'll say dog leg 4, and we'll use a different foot for this one. Go back to the styles and add the properties for the dog foot. So dog leg 1. Even the background color to be F80C93. We'll say height of 6 vmin and a width of 3 vmin. Want to transform the origin for this, and 0%. Could be present from left. 6 women. Width 3 women. This should be our from top. Something around 12 women. I want this to be visible at all times, so I'll set next as 1. Okay, so this is how our legs will come here. Let's add a foot to this so that it looks much more proper. So we'll say foot 1 as we have said in our index.html file. We'll say foot 1 and foot 2. So basically we'll be adding a foot at the bottom so that it looks good. We'll say width of 0, height is 0. We want the border style to be solid. Border width 0 0, 6 women and 4 women. Want some background color to it, or say border color transparent F8DC393 something transparent. We want the position to be absolute. This will be coming at the bottom, so we want this to be bottom, and from the right we want to say it as 0 pixels. We forgot to change the hyphen here, so now you can see the foot is visible. Now just let's define dog leg 2. Should be almost the same. Let's say this is dog leg 2. Height, width, everything to be same. We'll shift this to left of 10 women so that it looks a bit far, and from the top we'll say this to be a bit bigger so that it looks he's standing somewhere. Let's create dog leg 3. It will also be the same. Just that it will be moving some more far, and I want this to a bigger one so it comes like this, and there should be a foot coming for this too. We haven't changed the hyphen here, so it looks nice. Now all we have to do is create one more leg, which is dog leg 4. So this leg I want it will be the back of the leg, so I'll just change this to the same color what we have given for the shadow of the ear, and the position of this leg will be somewhere right of the leg 3, and I want the height to be same. So now your leg will look like this, and we have defined a foot 2 for this one. So we'll just go ahead and create one. Copy the content from foot 1. The color should be this, and we want this to be 4 min. Yep, it looks nice, but
A few moments later.
for the sake of the video getting very longer, what I have done is I have written down the JS part for you. For the eyeball, you can directly go and see the creepy monk video, and you will be able to find out what exactly happens when your cursor moves outside the body and how the eye movement is done. And for the other two parts, on the dog, I have added two event listeners. When the mouse is over, I want to call the angry teeth function. What we do here is we remove the display of the smile, and we remove the wagging of the tail over here, and this body, the lungs portion that moves very fast. And in the other case, when the cursor is not on the dog, what we do is the movement on the lungs is very slow, and the tail wagging starts and tongue comes out. If you loved the content, please like and share. इससे रिलेटेड जितना भी कोड था मैंने अपने GitHub अकाउंट में डाल दिया है. You can find the link in the description below. And now let's look out for the demo of this dog.